Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Saturday, August 26th, 2023, and in the news, a 10-acre fire near Lahaina, which of course just had the fire disaster earlier this month, August 8th and August 9th. And recall, we circled this date, August 26th, and said we could see more fire. Perhaps Hawaii again, perhaps Polynesia. Again, the Maui fire god is from Polynesia. And the reason we picked out this date, August 26th, is again because it's the day leaving 127 days left in the year. And the number 127 was encoded all over the Maui fire ritual, as we've covered and as I've begun writing the short book about. So here we are. And realize we had two events predicted for this date, right? On March 27th, we predicted why there'd be a significant mass shooting story in the news on this day. And that was based on what happened in Nashville, March 27th. Of course, Nashville's where Andrew Jackson died. And then today's shooting that's connected ends up being in Jacksonville, named after Andrew Jackson. So that's a correct prediction. And some kind of fire-related ritual to what happened on August 8th and 9th, that also happened today. So just adds to a long list of predicting the future accurately for a decade now, something we've been doing since we figured out what's going on in the world. And what I want to do is dedicate this video to the channel Hawaii Real Estate. He's been doing a lot of work trying to get questions answered about what really happened to Maui and Lahaina earlier this month. And he's out there again today documenting the 10-acre fire, saying, this seems really weird to have another fire again. And he's got some... here, I'm going to play a little bit of this man's video. You've probably seen him around if you've been investigating Maui. It seems like his content's been the most viral during this thing. And it's obvious that he hasn't gotten a taste of our work, which is highly buried in the algorithm and censored. Of course, if you're new here, we've had 20-some channels deleted over the years. And these days, we just can't get any views. You know, years ago, I could get 1 million views on a video. That was hard to do, but I mean, very often we got several 100,000 views. These days, it's hard to get even 5,000 views. We're so buried in the algorithm because they do not want the information out that we have. And people need this information because you listen to this man, he wants answers, but he doesn't know what's going on. You know, he's totally foreign to what we know in this community about the Jesuit cabal and how they operate. So let's just play a little clip of his video, and then let's answer the questions he has. So this is at 7 minutes. He's got a 15.5-minute video here. This is about 7 minutes in. We're going to let this play for maybe 30, 40 seconds, and then we'll respond to what he's saying. So here we go.
Strategy to fight whatever it is that's come upon us. If these are all acts of nature, I'm not even going to say God, because God wouldn't do this. If these are acts of nature, so be it. We still need to fight. If this is an act of a nefarious organization, we need to find out who they are and fight it. If this is just blatant...
Okay, if this is a nefarious organization, we need to find out and fight it. Well, again, we know for certain who's doing it, and that's why we're able to accurately forecast today, and people need to wake up to what we know. So, again, today leaves 127 days left in the year. You need to learn Gematria, the practice of the Cabal. Again, Gematria comes from Kabbalah. It's the practice of coding numbers into words. But notice how Polynesia is 127. And again, Maui is a Polynesian fire god. But beyond that, this number is connected to devastation all throughout history. You think about Hawaii and Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor happened December 7th, 12/7. Again, September 11th, they call it the New Pearl Harbor. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell in Manhattan. And the Manhattan Project is where the terminology of ground zero came from. Governor Josh Green referred to Lahaina as ground zero, comparing it to the World Trade Center devastation. And again, the original definition of ground zero is the point above or below ground where a hydrogen, atomic, or nuclear bomb explodes. Now, the 127s we've covered this far. The Rock. Again, his original entertainer name is Rocky Maivia. And I suppose I'll just retype out all this for the new person who's here. Remember, The Rock introduced the new Moana live-action film April 3rd of this year, 127 days before the fire. And again, he once went by the name Rocky Maivia, which is 127. We just talked about ground zero, right? That's also 127. And these other numbers up here, if you're new here, gematria is very simple. It's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with numerology. This happened right after Obama's 62nd birthday, on Kanye West's 62nd day of his age, while he's 46. And I'll bring this back to the Great Chicago Fire and how perfect this entire ritual is. But let's just get the 127s first. So again, The Rock, Rocky Maivia 127, introduced the new Moana film, where the trailer begins with an island bursting into flame April 3rd, 127 days before the fire of August 8th. And the trailer for that live action begins with an island bursting into flame. The woman whose home survived, who painted power lines, like how they're blaming the fires on downed power lines and the winds of Dora. The woman with the miracle house, her name was Dora Milliken. And remember, her full name is Dora Atwater Milliken, which equals 127 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse numerology. Her first and last name, Dora Milliken, is 127. And her surname, Milliken, is also 127. I don't think I've ever seen a name where all three parts of the name have a connection to a number before. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that. And realize we found this late into it. The coincidence of the book Fire and Fury being out is Hawaii turns 64 as a state, and Joe Biden shows up for the 64th birthday. But again, Fire and Fury, 127, this book that just came out, As Maui Burns, about Maui burning. Taco Bell. The Taco Bell was at 127 Hinau Street. 127 Hinau Street, and Hinau is Polynesian wood. Again, Hinau, just to pull it up. What does Hinau mean? Hinau, a New Zealand timber tree. By the way, the biggest earthquake in the world today was just outside of New Zealand, also on this day, and Maui is not only a fire god, Maui is the Polynesian god of earthquakes. So the biggest earthquake in the world today was down in Polynesia. A 5.1, kind of like Hawaii equals 51, and the Rock's 51 years old right now. Also in the 127, and remember, it matters that Taco Bell was at 127 Hinau Street. Again, Bavarian Illuminati's 127. Just the other year, Taco Bell doing all the ads making fun of the Illuminati. Again, the Bavarian Illuminati was founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. We know how this is all synced up with the Superior General, the leader of the Jesuits, and so was the Hurricane Hillary joke, which was declared an emergency in California on Bill Clinton's birthday. But remember, part of the Illuminati's plan was to infiltrate the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, which is another 127, and was created by the Jesuit order. And you notice the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry has the 127 and 143, just like Ground Zero does. And you notice the 46 and 143, just like Chicago. The Great Chicago Fire began at the address 137 West Decoven Street. Hawaii is made of 137 islands. Again, Chicago. The Great Chicago Fire happened in 1871, emphasis on 71. This year, on the 71st anniversary of weather warfare being admitted to, which was August 15th, 1952, the first admission. This year was the 71st anniversary, August 15th. That's the Jesuit order's birthday. This year, the focus was, what the governor's remarks about how it looked like Ground Zero. And again, Hawaii, remember what Eisenhower said about the military-industrial complex, about this nightmare that our military could grow to be if it was not checked, beyond our worst nightmares, he said. But Hawaii burned on the 353rd day of its age as a state, the 71st prime. The Great Chicago Fire in 1871, the 71st anniversary. Notice how forward's military-industrial complex is 322. And again, the police chief who rewrote the narrative 1,000 times in Vegas, who's now in Maui, from that distance in days was the number of days that's the 322nd prime number. And of course, 322 is the number of Yale Skull and Bones. And their big number is 41, like Pearl Harbor happened in 41, and there were some 41s in this as well. But coming back to Ground Zero, the fire began 62 days before Yale turns 322 years old. And again, right after Obama turned 62, on Kanye's 62nd day of his age, and we'll get to, again, how all this connects. Kanye just turned 46. Notice how Jay-Z is 62 and 46. Again, Jay-Z, born on the day that Fred Hampton was murdered in Chicago, his first music video, Hawaiian Sophie. He makes Kanye West famous. Kanye West puts out his 808 and Heartbreaks album in November of 08, the month that Obama becomes president-elect and gives his acceptance speech in Chicago, the Hawaii native. And remember, the 808 area code was made on August 8th in history, on 8/8. And Jay-Z and Kanye West put out their Watch the Throne album on August 8th. And on that album, it has the song Ends in Paris, like how the Jesuits were created in Paris, like how all of this is synced with the Jesuits. Again, Maui, Hawaii is 95, and the fires happened 95 days before the Superior General's birthday, and the purpose of the Jesuits originally was to counter the 95 Theses. And Maui, Hawaii is 50, and Hawaii is the 50th state. And Hawaii burned up the week of hip-hop's 50th anniversary, and Jay-Z gets hung at the 50th second of the Hawaiian Sophie music video. And hip-hop music came to be on the TR-808 Roland device out of Japan. You know, Japan that bombed Hawaii, and Japan that got bombed on August 6th and August 9th, and the Maui fires end on August 9th. And there's probably something even more to that, because they got bombed in 45, and hip-hop's 45, but anyway, this is why we said to look out for this day, and now here we are, and now there's more fires, you know, in the same area, giving people, just triggering, you know, the anxiety and the memory of what just happened. And it's just another sick joke. It's just another sick joke. And again, there's a lot more to all of this, but that's why we had this day circled. And we had it circled for a mass shooting, which is clearly connected. It couldn't be any more perfect with the Andrew Jackson parallel. And again, the recent fires. So, yeah, if we can get the attention of Hawaii real estate, he's getting a lot of views right now. And just this video right here on today's fire got 100,000 views. I haven't been able to get 100,000 views since January 6th, and we got those views because we accurately predicted everything that would happen on January 6th. And as soon as it hit 100,000 views, it was deleted, and I was banned for a week. It was deleted for medical misinformation, which didn't make any sense because it didn't have anything to do with medicine. But yeah, you'll hear Hawaii real estate say in his video that he thinks who's ever behind this fire stuff is the same people behind Agenda 21 or Event 201 in the pandemic. Yeah, it is. It is. And again, for Hawaii real estate, if you're watching this video, Bavarian Illuminati was the old name. They renamed themselves Order of Illuminati. Look into how The Rock, his grandfather, died 41 years before these fires. And his grandfather, again, Pearl Harbor in 41, but his grandfather's tattoos are where the tattoos came from for the Moana character in the Disney film that The Rock voices. And the grandfather died on the day, leaving 201 days left in the year. This is a huge number with the Illuminati all throughout the history, and it's a huge number with the Jesuits. And again, the Jesuits founded the Illuminati, and right now we're in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, who's the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. And I'm missing an I. But there, his name is 201, and again, he's the first to live in Suite 201, and the building's called the Domus Sancte Marte, and that's another 201, and the founder of the Jesuits is 201, Ignatius of Loyola, and so on and so forth. Again, you learn this little number knowledge, you put the historical timeline together, the 16th century, the Jesuits created. By the end of the century, the calendar we're on, the 26-letter alphabet, you know. The 201 also goes with the model that was agreed to in the 16th century, the heliocentric model that says the sun's at the center of everything. Again, the sun, fire. This happens in the time of Leo, the lion, fire. And August 8th, the Lionsgate portal and Lions 50, and Teddy Bridgewater's wearing number 50 for the Lions this year. And people are going, what's with that? Never seen a quarterback wear 50 before. Well, it makes sense when he's a lion. And all this for the 50th anniversary, but yeah, let me read a little bit of the intro chapter that I'm writing for the fire one more time. And again, there's a lot more besides this intro, but I didn't get a lot of feedback before, and maybe even Hawaii real estate. He can give me some feedback. You know, I need to see somebody on the ground in Hawaii, recognize this message. Like I said, I intend to travel to Hawaii in the near future, share this information, get out the word, and it'd be nice if we had some other people there to speak for us. Maybe this man wants to come out and speak with me. But again, what I've written for the introduction so far for this book on the Maui fires. Did you know the red-roofed miracle house of the August 8th and 9th, 2023 Maui fires, the one that survived the flames, its neighbors did not, was owned by Dora Milliken, or that she had a reputation for painting pictures of power lines? Of course, these details are interesting because per the mainstream media, the deadly fires of Maui were caused by blowtorch winds, and they keep using that phrase blowtorch, which is also another 127. Hold on, I forgot to make a point. You see how Joe Biden is 64 and 152? Again, Joe Biden waited to speak in Maui until the state's 64th birthday. It burned 13 days before, just like how back in 1893, 130 years earlier, 130, the Committee of 13 overthrew Hawaii. But Joe Biden there for the 64th birthday. Joe Biden also 152. This fire comes 152 years after the Great Chicago Fire. Biden connected to Obama. Number 44. Again, notice how Maui has the 44-64. Maui's the exact same in every cipher. 44-17, 64-28, just like Kill. And I realized I forgot a 128. Josh Green was at the United Nations in New York talking Green New Deal on July 12th, 12/7, a span of 28 days from the fires in Maui. Maui and Kill, 28 in reverse. Maui and Kill, 64 in reverse without numerology. Maui and Kill, 17. Joe Biden was 17 years old when Hawaii became a state, and Joe Biden was born 201 months and 1 day before Hawaii became a state. And it became a state in 1959, like he won the 59th presidential election, synced with the Pope, being elected number 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, when Catholic equals 46, and JFK was killed at 46, and John F. Kennedy equals 59, like Pope Francis, and Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for him, only for Biden to win the 59th election, and now Hawaii, established in 59, has this happened in the time of Joe? And again, Joe sacrificed his son Beau Biden 201 days before the Pope's birthday. And then Leo Jeremiah O'Donovan, the Jesuit priest, did the funeral for Beau at age 46 and the inauguration for Joe as number 46 on 20/1, the 201st day of the nation's age. Again, Hawaii established 201 months and 1 day after Joe Biden was born. That's how planned out this is. So for my guy who wants to know who did this, who did it is the Illuminati that has run this nation since forever. Like, honestly, guys, the Illuminati's probably been in control of America since at least 1789. Because why else would they move the capital from Philadelphia to the Jesuit stronghold, which was Washington, D.C.? And again, the father of the Constitution is 201. James Madison is 201. A lot of people think James Madison was an agent of Rome. Again, the first Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice John Jay, 201, and the list just goes on. There's so many 201s with the nation from the early days up to now. Again, the Jesuits are clever people. They work by deception and infiltration. The old definition of Jesuitism is trickery. The supposed overthrow of the Jesuits in Nicaragua that just happened last week happened while the country's 201 years old on a Wednesday. The one day of the week named after Mercury, the trickster. The only 201 element on the periodic table. Anyway. Coming back to reading. Just from the top, did you know the red-roofed miracle house of the August 8th and 9th, 2023 Maui fires, the one that survived the flames, its neighbors did not, was owned by Dora Milliken, or that she had a reputation for painting pictures of power lines? Of course, these details are interesting because per the mainstream media, the deadly fires at Maui were caused by blowtorch winds from Hurricane Dora that spread the flames sparked by downed power lines. And if that wasn't strange enough, August 9th, 2023 was also the anniversary of Dora the Explorer, the tremendously popular television and movie series, concluding. It ended on August 9th, 2019. In other pertinent parallels, Maui's fires began 13 days before the anniversary of Hawaii becoming the 50th state, joining the United States, the nation born from 13 colonies and symbolized in 13 stripes. It's a parallel connecting with Hawaii's overthrowing by a group of Americans known as the Committee of 13 in 1893, 130 years earlier, and a group with origins tracing back to 1860 in Chicago because of what was announced by Abe Lincoln's Republican Party that year in that city. As for Chicago, the city in the land of Lincoln, it is where Barack Obama, a Hawaii native, gave his acceptance speech for President of the United States, a man who became the 44th U.S. president 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. It's a string of four going with how Maui began to burn 4 days after Obama's August 4th, 2023 birthday and how it finished burning 4 years after Dora the Explorer's end. Building on the Chicago parallel and the seeming significance of numbers, the city is known for the Great Chicago Fire of October 8th through 10th, 1871. That historical fire started at 137 West DeKoven Street in Chicago, similar to how Hawaii consists of 137 total islands. And you guys, you notice how 137 is the 33rd prime number? And that Committee of 13 overthrew Hawaii 33 years after it was established? Hawaii also equals 33 in Gematria, so does New York. So does Masonry, so does Order, so does Secrecy, so does Federal. I didn't put that in here, but that's for later. Furthering the synchronicities, where the Chicago fire began on the 8th day of the month, Hawaii is known for its 8 largest islands, going with the fires on August 8th or 8/8, the anniversary of Hawaii receiving the 808 area code in 1957. And with regards to the 808 area code, the popular Chicago-based rapper Kanye West, also known as Ye, Yandi, Yeezy, and Yeezus, released his 808s and Heartbreak album in November of '08, the same month Obama gave his acceptance speech in Chicago to become president of the United States. As for the year '08, it was just a few years after both men became famous. And in the case of Kanye West, who will forever be remembered for what he said after Hurricane Katrina, here in the spotlight largely thanks to the more famous rapper Jay-Z, who calls himself Hova, as in Jehovah. In fact, the two men even put out an album together on August 8, 2011, titled Watch the Throne. And like Barack Obama, Jay-Z is a man who links back to Chicago and Hawaii. The Chicago connection exists because Jay-Z was born the day Fred Hampton was murdered there, December 4th, 1969. And as for Hawaii, that's because the first music video Jay-Z ever appeared in was Hawaiian Sophie. If you have yet to see it, you should check it out. You'll notice Jay-Z has a rope connected to his body near his neck, and at precisely the 50th second of the video, he is yanked up and off the set by that rope, much like a puppet, but also like a mock hanging. The timing of this matters because Maui, in the 50th state of Hawaii, burned up the week of hip-hop's 50th anniversary, coinciding with the fact that hip-hop was built on the Roland TR-808 drum machine, not unlike Hawaii's 808 area code. And do we dare mention the TR-808 was made in Japan? After all, the nation supposedly attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, only to be eventually bombed by the United States with nuclear weapons on August 6th and 9th, 1945, the latter date being the one the historic Maui fires of 2023 finished on. The comparisons don't end there, however. That's because hip-hop was born in New York, the state that became associated with the new Pearl Harbor after the September 11, 2001 attacks by kamikaze terrorists. Of course, the original Pearl Harbor was in Hawaii on December 7th, 1941, just after Pentagon construction began on September 11th, 1941. And where the date was December 7th, or 1-2/7 in the first instance, buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell in the new Pearl Harbor on 9/11. Not by chance, that was the very same day that Jay-Z put out the Blueprint album with his label Rockefeller Records, going with the history of the World Trade Centers essentially being the construct of the Rockefeller family. As for the pattern of 1-2-7, let us now transition to why it matters that Jay-Z's Hawaiian Sophie debuted on superstar Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's birthday, May 2nd, 1989. It is in part because years later, The Rock would get the role in Moana where he played the part of Maui, the Polynesian fire god. And it coincides with why on April 3rd, 2023, The Rock announced the new live-action Moana starring him as Maui precisely 127 days before the fires began on August 8th. Fittingly, the trailer for the live-action Moana starts with an island bursting into flames, and it will eventually be the follow-up to the original Disney film Moana about a dying island that can only be saved with a green stone. So think about that in light of Hawaii's new governor at the time, Josh Green, who happened to be in New York at the United Nations on July 12, 2023, a date expressed as 12/7 throughout much of the world, talking about matters pertaining to the Green New Deal and how Hawaii will be at the forefront of sustainable development goals. Then think about how Maui became prime real estate for these Green New rebuilding ventures not even a month later. It was as perfect as Maui burning on Josh Green's 247th day of office while the United States of America was 247 years old. And same with the Illuminati. The numerical synchronicities go along with how Moana debuted on November 23, 2016, 23 years after Bill Clinton apologized to the native Hawaiians for America's overthrow of their country, November 23, 1993, in the lead up to the 23 Maui fires. If this sounds ritualistic, it is because it is, and I need to rewrite the rest of that paragraph. And again, right now that's the intro chapter, and then there's a lot more from there, but yeah, it's just, I really do hope this information makes it to this man, and I hope he talks about it. I hope he gets this information out in front of more people. I don't know why people, I know the censorship has killed us, but it's just like, we've been doing amazing for a decade in terms of accurately forecasting the future, being dead on about all the agendas. Here, that gentleman, he in his video, he says, I suspect that who's ever behind these fires is also behind the pandemic. He says that was the biggest fraud there ever was. See, I find it interesting that a guy like this can be getting views and everything. It's like, man, I say things like that, and my video's taken down in 5 seconds. But anyway, Moana was the 56th Disney film, the 56th. And the tech meeting they had at the beginning of the year was the 56th of those tech conferences. Those tech conferences actually began in 68. And 68 is the year of years, right? It's the year that coronavirus was coined, fentanyl was approved by the FDA, 911 was made the National Emergency Dialing Code, World Trade Center construction began in New York, the Club of Rome was founded by the Rockefellers, and on and on and on. Huge year 68, year of political assassinations, MLK, RFK, big year 68. But this 56 number is so huge with the Jesuits and their rituals. Notice climate change is one of their 56 words, and so is natural disaster. If you run the alphabetic order in reverse, hurricanes even 56, like the Astros won their first World Series in their 56th season after Harvey, where Matt Harvey was the first pitcher to pitch in Houston after the Harvey flooding. And of course, we call all that before it happened. And Vice News wrote their hit piece on me, making fun of what I had to say about weather warfare and the rigging of the game, which we were right about, as we've been right about numerous times. But again, with him suspecting that it's the same thing behind the pandemic, again, the virus itself, 56, right? The jab itself, 56. The face of the agenda, Anthony Fauci, little Jesuit boy from Holy Cross who's now working at Georgetown, 56. When you run it in reverse, Gavin Newsom's 56, Jesuit scumbag from Santa Clara, who said 56% of California will get coronavirus in 8 weeks, which is 56 days as he became the first governor to lock down his state. And again, the million other 56 rituals. The first city with COVID in America, Seattle, under the 56th mayor, Jenny Durkin, who was Jesuit trained. And then same thing with Lori Lightfoot, the 56th mayor of Chicago. The first 2 cities with COVID outside of China, both in the time of the 56th mayor. And remember, it's like Sleepless in Seattle with Tom Hanks, born in 1956, the first celebrity with the virus. His wife dies from illness in Chicago. They move out to Seattle. It's all a big joke. And Andrew Cuomo at Fordham, the 56th governor of New York. Donald Trump, who also went to Fordham, whose Jesuit education began in 64, 56 years before 2020. That's why he declared the public emergency on March 13th, 2020. Date with 56 numerology, and it was Friday the 13th, which goes with the Templars and the Templar cross in the middle of the Jesuit logo. But yeah, you're not wrong to suspect that it's the same gang. That's exactly where you are correct. And that same gang is the Jesuits. And the Jesuits who are running the show are the Illuminati. And they put their numbers down on everything. So, and because of their numbers, it's a good way to get ahead of what they're doing, and that's why we've been ahead of what they're doing for a decade. You know, ahead of their sports rituals, ahead of their rigged elections, ahead of their news stories, mass shootings, weather warfare acts. I mean, we've literally been ahead of these things, calling these things out before they happen for a long time. And you know, once upon a time we got great views because they were earned, and we'd probably have even better views now since the work's better than it used to be. It gets better as time. The more we study it, the better we understand it. But the algorithms have absolutely destroyed. And yeah, I hope this video makes it to Hawaii real estate, and I hope he has the brain capacity to comprehend what I'm saying. So. And I did catch one of his videos, and it seems like he's a Trump supporter, but if he wakes up to this, that won't last much longer. He'll see what a puppet Trump is. Just like we were talking about with the pandemic 56 years after his Jesuit education. And hey, let's also not forget what I just noticed the other day. Again, from the establishment of the Illuminati May 1st, 1776 to the establishment of the United States of America 64 years later. Like 64 spaces on the chessboard. And just like having Joe Biden show up in town for the 64th birthday of the state. International Chess Day was created by Paris, France, the home of the Jesuits, the home where the Scottish Rite came to power. International Chess Day began on the 201st day of the year. This massive 201 ritual with Joe Biden, only for him to be there on the state's 64th birthday. Again, these people are playing chess. And they're forecasting their moves through entertainment, including Disney films. And remember, Walter Elias Disney's 201, Walt Disney World's 201, it's off exit 201. He was De Molay, which is Knights Templar, which is Catholic Church like Jesuits. Yeah, we got to keep this Maui thing out there. I mean, it's sad how the media is ignoring Maui, and it's already almost forgotten, and it's just being overshadowed by all the 201 rituals that they're doing with the rigged election. Again, you know, Donald Trump's at the address 201 in Montgomery, the old Confederate capital, and then the next day there's a race brawl, and then they're doing the huge 201 ritual the day he's indicted with his fourth indictment in the fourth state, as the Braves take a plus 201 run score advantage for the year, beating Trump's Yankees on the night of the indictment when the first indictment was from New York on the opening day of the MLB season. As we just continue to show how it's all connected. The rigged sports, the rigged elections, the rigged news. I mean, this is a madhouse that needs to be stopped. So let's go back and listen to this little bit. And again, I really hope he finds this video, because it answers what he's asking right here. Let's listen to what he said one more time.
To fight whatever it is that's come upon us. If these are all acts of nature, I'm not even going to say God, because God wouldn't do this. If these are acts of nature, so be it. We still need to fight. If this is an act of a nefarious organization, we need to find out who they are and fight it. If this is just blatant, ineptitude or lack of skill or ability, or even if it is, there is liability and there will be accountability, but I'm not looking for a scapegoat here. I'm looking for answers, I'm looking for the truth, and I'm looking for solutions for the people of Lahaina so we can put money in their pocket. Cash is king. I've talked to a lot of people that have survived Katrina and other tragedies and fires and Paradise and Camp Fire, and guess what? They don't get any cash. Cash is king. It's what these people need to rebuild their lives. So let's get cash in their pocket. If you agree, thumb up the video, share, like, and subscribe, and pull just a little bit of money out of your pocket. If every single person on this video right now gave, let's just say, $5. I don't know how many views this thing's going to get. 100,000, 300,000, 50,000, whatever. If each and every one of you gave $5 to the family I interviewed last night, the Akawili family, and I have a video of their son, Justin, saving an elderly couple. If each and every one of you just gave it $5, imagine their life would be changed, it would be restored. And $5 is not that much money, but guess what's actually going to happen? 1% of you is actually going to give. 1%. That's what's going to happen. Those are the numbers. Well, what's wrong with 100%? What's wrong with each and every one of you pulling out $5 today instead of going to Starbucks, instead of going to Chick-fil-A, instead of going to the movies tonight? $5, is it going to kill you? I don't think so. For some of you, it's 500. For some of you, it's 5,000. For some of you, it's 50,000. Each give according to their need, according to their ability, I should say.
What he's saying there, though, is the same type of thing I always say all the time, too. I mean, if just a small group of people, could find $5 or even less, so much could be accomplished. And we do live in he's making the same points I always make. People spend all this money on, these fast food restaurants and stuff. You don't need to, you can make your own cup of coffee and save yourself $5 for the day. It's not hard to budget $5 to help a worthy cause. And again, like if I had to say donate to me or Maui victims right now, I'd say definitely donate to Maui victims because they're in a lot more immediate need for help. But at the same time, you guys, imagine just like what I've been saying for years. I've been saying the same thing for years since we started trying to raise funds. If we can get 1 million people behind us pledging $1 a month, $5 a month, we could have so many resources to really have a huge impact getting out this knowledge all over the place. Imagine had it happened 5 years ago. Imagine if we'd made this thing go viral. We had GematriaEffectNews vehicles all over spreading the word. My guess is, this stuff's not happening anymore. Too many people know about it. We've gotten the word out in every major city. We got our vehicles going around every day educating about this. Should have happened. Should have happened. Again, the work that we do, this is because look at this. This guy's looking, he knows it's wrong. He knows something's up, but he doesn't know, right? He doesn't know. He doesn't have the information, which is unfortunate. The information's been out on the web for 10 years now. We've been nailing it for 10 years. Still doesn't know. How does he not know? I've been pumping out Maui content. How doesn't this guy like this know? I thought this guy's looking for it. That's what I mean. We need more resources so we make sure this work is reaching more people. I'm sure this guy's probably looked for videos, but because of the algorithm, nothing even comes up. If I search Maui Gematria, what comes up? Maui Gematria. Maui wildfires turn family vacation apocalyptic. That's weird. That's not what I searched for. I searched a very specific word, Gematria. Maui describes fire bombs. Yeah, I believe that. New videos show Maui wildfires burning aftermath. Top Maui emergency officials resigns in aftermath. Investigation of Maui's alert system. You see, this explains, what we know explains everything. Why everything was just the perfect storm. Because it was perfectly planned. Because it was perfectly foretold. Let me see if I keep scrolling down. Oh, conspiracy theorists ripped for saying Simpsons. Well, we didn't do that. So they got that. Fire rages. Scrolling down. Katy Perry goes viral for mid-concert eye glitch. That came in over Maui Gematria. What? There's the Dora Atwater Milliken house. Dora on the water. Oh, something did come up. Hold on. Hey, I found one. Miracle House in Lahaina. Okay, we found one. One made it. Gematria Effect Sports. Okay, there was something. Okay, where's all the other videos, though? Because we've made a whole bunch. Why is that the only one coming up? I'm actually impressed that it was that high on the feed because this is what the algorithm has done. It's made it impossible to find what you're looking for. Maui, was that a wildfire? Okay, that one's there. You still got to scroll down a ways. Where's the rest of the videos? Josh Green's United Nations visit. That made it. Was Maui an accident? Is the Illuminati real? Dora okay, well, some of the, but if you scroll down a ways, you can find them a little bit, but you think they'd be at the top, right? Because, they should be at the top. It's very specific. They're all about Maui and Gematria. So what happens when you sort by upload date? When you sort by upload date, you actually find what you want. Well, you find some of what you want. There should be newer videos there. Again, I've been streaming on 3 channels at once. Don't forget up here in my neck of the woods in Washington State where they began to develop nuclear energy, you had the same thing happen with the Spokane fires. Weird fires that don't make sense. The new mayor is Woodward. Her birthday's 127. They blamed it on the Gray Fire, which equals 127. So you also had a 127 right after Maui in Washington State. Again, the Hanford site's the original nuclear energy development site. But yeah, this is the way to find it, by sorting by date. Remember, they did the Lahaina's Gone on the anniversary of the HARP patent. Okay. Let me say thank you here to some super chatters. Go link this channel under his community tab. Good idea. I appreciate that, Gematria Sense. Thank you, Adams V. I appreciate it. Hope I said that right. Somehow you became a new member 2-time. How do you do that? Amazing. Thank you. And Truth Vibration Podcast. Look up the Frenchman who discovered Maui. I will. Good one. And shout out to John Mendoza again. Let's see. Frenchman who discovered Maui. Who's that? Here it is. French. Whoops. Captain Cook on November 26th. It's the fateful day in India's history. It's the first Thanksgiving Day. The first Thanksgiving by George Washington's November 26th, and then Lincoln made it an official holiday 74 years later on November 26th, and then the country of India had their 9/11 on November 26th. On November 26, 1778, Captain James Cook became the first European explorer to see Maui. Cook never set foot on the island because he was unable to find a suitable landing. The first European to visit Maui was the French Admiral Jean-Francis de Gallop, who landed on the shores of what is now known as La Perouse Bay on May 29th, it's JFK's birthday, 1786. He was born August 23rd in history. Okay. But yeah, that goes back to the, there's that 152, like how this is happening 152 years after the Great Chicago Fire, 199, the 46th prime, 312th prime, 359 is the 72nd prime, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Again, that Jay-Z Kanye thing goes back to France, the land of the Jesuits and Scottish Rite. But good research. Good research. Okay. Let's see if maybe... What's the guy's channel's name again? Shoot, I closed the video.
Hey, aloha guys, Eric West here.
Okay. Let's go to this guy's, let's see, is there a way we can communicate with him? Okay, let's go to his, this is Hawaii Real Estate, Community tab, and he has this latest post about the latest fire, and that's the best way to do it. Maybe leave a comment. If you guys all thumbs up the comment, maybe he'll see it. I'll leave the comment now. What do I say? Please look into why this fire happened on August 26th, the day leaving 127 days in the year. It fits a long pattern of destruction, including the recent Lahaina fires and Pearl Harbor, which happened on... And remember the whole thing with Joe Biden and the way it synced up with Hawaii? Remember, Joe Biden met with Vladimir Putin 201 days after the Jesuit Ignatian year began on Pearl Harbor Day to discuss Russia-Ukraine before the war broke out. That was December 7th, 2021. So that was another 201. And back then we weren't realizing that Hawaii was established 201 months after Joe Biden was born, but it makes so much sense. And then Russia invaded the Donbass region, and that's 201. And there's been several 201s in that as well. It's the same people behind all this stuff. All right, so I wrote, please look into why this fire happened on August 26th, the day leaving 127 days in the year. It fits a long pattern of destruction, including the recent Lahaina fires in Pearl Harbor, which occurred December 7th or 12/7. Please contact me, and we can do a live show together to help spread the word about who is responsible for these arsons. Thank you. Okay, so if you go to, again, Hawaii Real Estate, you go to the Community tab, and then you go down to the comments, sort by newest first. Should be there. There's already 2 new comments since I wrote it. But GematriaEffectNews, 1983. Or if other people just want to go and leave their own comment about contacting and looking into Gematria, I mean, that could do the trick too. So, want to give mine a thumbs up, a reply, your own comment. See what happens. Well, he said he was looking for answers. He said he wanted to know who's behind it. Well, of course I type fast. If I didn't type fast, I wouldn't be able to write books this big. It's just these days I'm too hard on myself, so I don't finish anything. I'm just put my eyes on the chat to see if anybody else has any observations. I talked about Nicaragua banning the Jesuits this past week, 201 years after they declared independence. Franz Ferdinand, yeah, I've always talked about his license plate, how it had the World War I end date on it. It just goes to show it's always been the number gang. Bamboo says he's sent, well, maybe if more people send messages. Do I feel it was a directed energy weapon? Well, remember, one of the big clues is this is so central with the rock. Directed energy weapon is 99, and it happened on the rock's 99th day of his age. And we talked about where the Spokane fires have the 108 thing, and where the 216s fit in with Obama born on the 216th day of the year, and the Lupe Fiasco, another Chicago rapper. And then the whole thing with what happened in 1964 with Pepsi buying Mountain Dew, the year that Hurricane Dora was a significant storm. Again, 1964, and this before Hawaii's 64th birthday. So I think there's a lot of evidence there for, yes, that's exactly what it was. Again, I have several videos on Maui if you want to check them out. Again, earlier this year, YouTube changed the way videos are on a channel. You have a videos tab, which is where you just upload a video. You have shorts, which is where you upload a short. and you have lives where streams like this go because it's an actual live stream. So that's how you can tell if it was a live or just an uploaded video. But yeah, I mean, it's just another day in the park for us. Accurately predicted a significant mass shooting in the news, and it's obvious we weren't wrong. Again, it's Jacksonville, and we predicted it on March 27th because of what happened in Nashville and the way they encoded it. And again, Andrew Jackson died in Nashville. Remember, they said in Nashville that there were 152 shots fired, mass shooters 152, and today's 152 days later. And Joe Biden said there would be gun reform, just like how Joe Biden's so synced with Hawaii, and this is connected back to the Chicago fire, which is connected to his old wingman, and it's 152 years after that fire. But August 20, or all this stuff on Maui, there's a lot of information here. And again, I'm just trying to make this little short book cover every little thing we've covered and as efficiently as possible. Got efficient books coming for Kobe Bryant death. We'll be out there the day they had the statue. What's up, Joey?
Yo, you know it's week 0 in college football, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like ground zero. And Hawaii, they're playing in Nashville. Their first game was in Nashville just tonight.
Okay.
And of course, Nashville is 102 in the most simple cipher.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's rewind with things I've been talking about. So
I'm going to get to the 127.
But let's rewind though. Again, Nashville is where the Tennessee Titans play. And when they had the missile scare in Hawaii in 2018 on January 13th, that day the Patriots were playing the Titans from Nashville in the playoffs, back when Tom Brady was still on the Patriots. And the quarterback for the Titans then was Marcus Mariota, who went to Hawaii. The star quarterback in the NFL now from Hawaii is Tua. His full name equals 206, and this fire happened 206 days from his birthday. Like 206 bones in the human body. But again, we were talking about this, how they got the missile scare, the false alert back then, and then this time they got no alert. And now we've seen in recent days the Tennessee Titans father's home blew up at address 292. You caught that. Address 292 days after the player's birthday, but also 201 days after Joe Biden and his administration pretty much put out the announcement how they're going after natural gas. Again, right when you're saying you're bringing up the Nashville thing today and the pattern we were looking at and how it's connected to the Jacksonville, give me the rest of it.
Yeah, just great statements there. In the most pure cipher, Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, the team name, it equals 119. Like the date, September 11th, 11/9. And, I fucking lost my train of thought. The game today, the score of the game started 12-7.
Okay, that's an awkward football score to start the game.
Because they went for 2 and they didn't get it. It made no sense to go for 2. It was on the first touchdown of the game This
game was in Vanderbilt, huh?
Yeah. And with exactly 7 minutes left in the first quarter, there were 21 total points scored. And Hawaii's birthday is 8/21. So if there was 7 minutes left in the first quarter exactly, that means that exactly 8 minutes in the first quarter were played. In the first exactly 8 minutes of the game, 21 total points were scored. They went for 2 again to make up for that. They scored a touchdown. The score was 12-7 with 7 minutes left. Then they went for 2 and made it 14-7 with 7 minutes left. So 21 points in the first 8 minutes.
Did you see that Hawaii's leading offensive player outside of the quarterback had 127 receiving yards?
His name has Ash in it, right? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Ash?
Yeah, Ashlock.
Ashlock, right. He scored a touchdown at the end. I noticed that. I'm like, look at that. They even have Ashlock. And before I was talking about how Colt Brennan was the big Hawaii quarterback who ended up dying recently.
Right.
And before I said, I'm pretty sure that's connected to these Hawaii wildfires. And today, well, the 26th, technically on the East Coast is 27th. On the 26th, when the game was played, 107 days after the anniversary of Colt Brennan's death, and 107, like military, like in 9/11, 107 was just such a huge number because we invaded Afghanistan on October 7th. Rudy Giuliani was like the 107th mayor. Just a laundry list of 107s. But I really hope this guy sees this and sees this video, because this work is undeniable. Just undeniable. And thank you, Zach.
All right.
My call.
All right,
That's
no problem,
all
man.
I have, man. Peace.
All right, take care. See you. Yeah, again, sports are scripted, you guys. College and pro. There's Vegas action on it. It is part of the script. And college football is just a joke. I mean, I was wondering what's going on with college football when I got to Arizona State University as a student, because I was like, okay, what are the coordinators dialing up here? Why is that the coverage to give up an 80-yard touchdown at the end of the game for no reason? And you just realize it's all because of Vegas over and unders and stuff. And that's how the script can have the player get 127 yards in the ritualistic game. For the person who's new here, that might be too much to fathom, but pay attention for a decade like we have, and you'll see. And by the way, Colt Brennan, the Hawaii quarterback whose death was blamed on fentanyl, who died 97 days before his 38th birthday. Again, death is 97 and 38, just like fentanyl is. Big numbers in Prince's death blamed on fentanyl, that thing approved in 68, the infamous year. Right, when they knock out the Purdue Pharma opioids, they flood you with the fentanyl. All part of the sick jokes by the cabal. So, all right, True Seeker, we'll leave it there for tonight. Again, thank you everyone who hits the like and the share. We'll see if Hawaii real estate gets back. He said he wanted to get to the bottom. He wanted to know the truth, who was responsible. Well, there it is. Yeah, that Josh Green, you guys. Josh Green, man. Talking Green New Deal at the United Nations on 12/7, synced up with the Moana film about the green stone to restore the dying island. I mean, this stuff is just... it's too obvious. Until next time, True Seeker.